Hello and welcome to this special show on Rajya Sabha television. As all of us are aware that the entire world and India is fighting against the COVID-19 pandemic, and India and its people are putting up a brave fight here. There are several technological interventions as well. There are several aspects to this particular crisis, and we've seen how technological interventions have come up with solutions to most of the problems which are being faced by the people, by the society, and by the country as well. So, in this episode, we'll talk about one such aspect wherein technology seems to have given us a way out, and that is digital learning or online education. Now, this is really, really important because the schools are closed, the colleges are closed, the education institutions are all closed due to lockdown and to ensure that social distancing is adhered to. And in these times, it is the digital mode of learning or the online education which has come to our rescue. And in fact, our data suggests that the HRD ministry's various platforms, the online education platforms, have seen a 5-time rise in the number of visits or in the number of downloads of the data which is available on those platforms. So today we will talk about all these aspects, and we're joined by a distinguished panel of guests as well on Zoom. And let me remind you that this is a lockdown period and we are adhering to all social distancing norms, and we are doing this show via the social media apps, video conferencing apps, and our guests are also joining us through that only. So let me first introduce the guests, beginning with Professor V. Ramgopal Rao. He's the director of IIT Delhi, and we're also joined by Dr. Hrushikesh Senapaty. He is the director of NCERT, and we also have with us Ms. Aprajita Gautam. She is the president of Delhi Parents Association. So let me begin with you, Dr. Senapaty. Let's try and understand what kind of platforms for online education or for digital learning are available to the students as of now in the country.
NCERT has a very popular platform that is known as e-Pathshala, and we have around 10 crore users, and all the textbooks of NCERT are available on that platform, and students, parents, teachers can download all these materials free of cost. Along with textbooks, other materials also available. Some audio materials, some video materials, some interactive materials are also available. And that is a very popular platform. And nowadays, the number of users have increased, and most of the students and parents are using it. And we have another platform that is known as NROER, that is the National Repository for Education Open Education Resources. There also we have materials for all types of learners from standard 1 to 12, and different types of materials are also available. And along with that, we are also using this Swayam, and we have 28 courses that for the senior secondary students, and they are also taking advantage of this. And we have one TV channel that is Swayam Prabha and the Kishore Mans, and we have already started the live interaction, and we have taken care of different school subjects. Along with that, also on mental health and how to deal with the small kids, we have already started live interaction. These are different platforms we are using to provide different types of materials to students, teachers, and parents, and they can use it. And along with that, the Government of India has one platform, Dahiya, and where our materials also available, and materials of other states in different language also available, and they can also take advantage of these materials. So these are the materials available with us, and we are using these materials. And my concern is it is not the materials, because many platforms are there, but we should try to understand what is this learning. Because digital, when we say digital learning, the technology is a tool, technology is a means, technology is not an end. That is why we should understand what is learning. Learning, it is not knowledge acquisition, it is knowledge construction. And students should enjoy it. It should be meaningful for the students, it should be joyful for the students, and through their own experience, they should learn. That is why what we are doing now, we are coming out with an alternative academic calendar from class 1 to class 12, where we are using these tools and we are taking into account the learning outcome, particularly the skills and competency what we have defined class 1 to class 2 10, and also for 12 we are defining, and based on the learning outcome we have even linked to different resources available with us and with other organizations, and we have suggested some activities, and with the help of uh, parents, teacher can guide the parents, and parents can conduct different activities for the small kids inside the home, so that they will
Okay.
have experience and they will learn in a better way. That is, and
Uh,
learning will be more meaningful and joyful. That is
okay.
that we are suggesting.
Dr. Senapati, what's the response? Because this is quite a big chunk of data which is available online in terms of resources as well, and then there are television channels as well like Swam Parba and Gyan Darshan. So, what's the response to all these platforms? Since you guys would be monitoring how these platforms are being used by the students or by the schools as well. So, what is the response right now?
Now in our e-parcel platform, we have active 5 lakhs users now, because it has during this lockdown period it has increased, and I feel most of the students are downloading the textbooks and other materials. That is why now people are taking advantage of this platform. Even NROER and other platforms are also being used. So that there is that great enhancement in the number. So we are
Okay.
happy that at least our materials are being used by everybody.
Okay. Let's now talk about the higher education and the research aspect as well, and the other aspects of higher education. Professor Rao is with us, the director of IIT Delhi. Professor Rao, in terms of Mrs. Senapati was talking about for the school education from up to class 12, but when we come to higher education, in terms of usage of online platforms or digital learning modes, how feasible are these and what are the options available?
Yeah, hello. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm sure everybody is, keeping themselves safe. In fact, it has come as a huge shock for us. In fact, if we had, let us say, 3 months kind of a time period for preparing ourselves for what is going to come, I think we could have handled it very well. But unfortunately, given the situation, given the rapid spread of the entire thing, all this had to be done in a matter of days, and we never had sufficient time to prepare for it. And we have always been in higher education, the digital learning has always been used as a supplementary material. I mean, you take multiple courses in the classrooms, and one course here, one course there, you do it on the digital platform. Now, suddenly, with a few hours of notice, to shift our entire classroom teaching and learning to an online platform is a huge challenge. In fact, I can tell you, there is not a single institution, not only in India, but anywhere in the world, which is able to manage the situation very well. And because we've
Mhm.
always looked at technology as assisting us in multiple ways, but we never looked at it as replacing anything. Research is again a huge concern right now. And for example, all the library resources are available online. Even here, nobody goes to library to access a research paper or anything, because all of that is available online. But research is not just reading papers or working with pen and paper. That happens maybe in some areas, but for an institution like IITs, you have to go to the lab, you have to interact with your peers, interact with your supervisor, and there is a major disruption on the research front as well. As I can speak for IIT Delhi, at least 60% of our students are able to log in and are able to access the material that we are putting out into the digital zone. But there are
Okay.
40% of students who are complaining that we don't have the necessary bandwidth, and we really cannot do that because even a few megabytes will take me a whole day to download, and I cannot really prepare for it, kind of a thing. And our systems are
Okay.
always relative learning. If even if one student says I'm not able to follow or I'm not able to do this, the entire thing now becomes an issue for us to deal with. So there are challenges. It's not a very easy or a manageable situation that we are in right now, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay, let's bring in now Aprajita here, who's the president of Delhi Parents Association. Aprajita, as both our panelists, Dr. Senapaty and Professor Rao, are pointing out that digital mode of education should not remain a supplementary mode to the school education. But from parents' perspective, from parents' point of view, since parents play an important role as far as online education is concerned or digital mode of education is concerned, what are the pros and cons of this particular method from your experience and also from the feedback which you've been getting from the parents? Aprajita?
Thank you, Mr. Dahiya. First, I would like to say thank you to all my partners here, like Mr. Senapati and Dr. Rao. First, I would like to express something. Like Mr. Senapati said, the number of downloads have increased. So, do you know the reason why the number of downloads has increased? Reason behind, due to this lockdown period, parents were not having that much of time to go and buy the books. That is the reason most of the parents and the students, definitely they are downloading the NCERT books. Secondly, like Dr. Rao said, yes, we are facing so many problems. Not only with the I'm talking about my kids, also the working women like me and the other parents who are working from home. And yes, we are facing the same problem regarding the data. If I know if my kids classes are going on, I'm not able to access my net at that time. Not even my WhatsApp. I cannot even access my WhatsApp. That is the major problem I'm facing, because for me as a mother, being a working woman, my kids' online classes are more important than my work from home. And you can see, I can see my internet connection is not stable. My system is continuously showing. So we all can see that the kind of problems we people are actually facing. Like Dr. Rao said, if the IT team was aware about the this kind of lockdown, maybe they must have prepared some better plan or better things. But unfortunately, इनको भी इतना टाइम नहीं मिला वो सब कुछ प्लान करने का. Now coming to the point, what students are facing, what general parents are facing. If you ask me, yes, we are getting very mixed response from the parent side. If I'm talking about the parents whose kids are in 10th or 12th class, means the board students, the parents are quite satisfied how the schools are trying to teach them, because if you ask me, class 10th and 12th, yes, teachers are putting their extra efforts. They come online, they fix the complete their timetable. In fact, if you ask me, the kids are more happy to attend these kind of classes. Now what they are saying, they can interact with the teacher in a better way. Rather, they were trying to reach or interact their teachers in the school. Means online classes, as per the students, they are more happy. But as I said, I'm getting mixed response here. If I'm going to talk about the junior classes, parents are continuously calling us and they are saying teachers are not doing their best. They are just sending one video, or they are just sending the worksheets. They are asking students to go and do the worksheet. If you ask me, by and large, the workload on the students is increased.
Okay. Let's bring in Dr. Senapaty once again here. Dr. Senapaty, two aspects. One is the availability of internet. That is, to ensure that the students can go ahead and access all the data which is available online. That obviously is not uniform everywhere. And the second one is the very fact that our school education system is pretty much dependent on the relative method of teaching or relative method of learning, which might not be the case as far as online learning is concerned. That is, the interaction might not be up to that particular mark or that particular level. So how do we tackle these two aspects when we talk about digital education?
Also the examinations, you should add examinations to the list of challenges too.
And yes, of course, examinations, as Professor Rao has pointed out, that aspect also, Dr. Senapaty.
we should not fully dependent on this technology, because now in this situation, our parents have to play a very significant role. So what calendar we have developed, we have suggested in that calendar that parents should interact with the children, because you know that if there is a better social interaction, then there is better learning. Inside the home, when parents and children sitting together, they should discuss, they should share their experiences, and they should come out with some activities. And parents may ask children to prepare a family tree and different activities, what is available inside the home, because they cannot go out. And with the available resources, they can conduct different activities. And that activities will help them to become more active, and they will enjoy learning. And all the time, we should not depend on internet. We just, teacher may guide the parents how to conduct different activities. So parents can take advantage of this. And another thing, that during this period, what students are doing, they may be engaged in some drawing, they may prepare some other project work. And when school will reopen, they can submit it to the school, teacher can make some assessment. So from that point of view, we can also assess the learning, what they have, what has taken place during this period. So that we can do. And our suggestion is that parents should be involved with the students, because learning is natural, it is social, it is not linear that we should move from this to that. Because if there is interaction sharing, then that will be better learning. Even we have also taken care of the parents who are not having smartphone, because when we are thinking of our country and some parents are there, then they are not having smartphone. Even with a simple mobile, teacher can guide the parents, suggest some activities, and parents can conduct these activities with the help of the children, and children will be more benefited and they will enjoy learning. That is our suggestion, and we are coming out with that alternative calendar, and next week I think we will share that with all the stakeholders.
Okay. So, Professor Rao, you earlier said that it is not easy to use the online mode of education or digital learning as far as higher education is concerned. So, what needs to be done? What is it that we can do from all the stakeholders, starting from your side to the students or those who keep this data repository updated as well, to ensure that the digital mode of learning can be integrated in a much better way with the regular learning as far as higher education is concerned?
I think it has at least removed that fear among many people on the campus. For example, faculty members. So far, what is you go to any place in the world, what are the technologies that faculty members in the higher education sector have been making use of? I can tell you PowerPoint. Beyond PowerPoint, show me how many faculty members anywhere in the world have adopted any new technologies. I think PowerPoint, because it made life easier for them to present and all that. And I think that has been the situation so far. And suddenly now, because of this situation, we are telling faculty members to go and do everything online. But that has resulted in many faculty members now exploring these new technologies like flipped classrooms. At IIT Delhi, for example, we have lost 5 weeks of lecture sessions, 5 weeks of lecture sessions. So we are now trying to see, when we reconvene, when we come back to the campus, can we condense that 5 weeks to 2 weeks? In 2 weeks of physical time here, can we cover 5 weeks of what we have lost? And for that, can we make use of technology? And there we are now telling faculty members, you record all the lectures, put them on the online. Students may not be able to access them right now, but when they come back to the campus, they can access the material. And when you have the classrooms can become more discussion points. So you don't have to cover everything like you would have usually done. So we are using at IIT Delhi this particular the technologies, the flipped classroom approaches in a major way to condense our 5 weeks of time that is lost to 2 weeks of actual learning on the campus. That is one thing. Another thing which has definitely become possible now is, I think our travels will come down. I mean, earlier, even if you want to conduct a PhD defense, we used to call people from all over the country and they come here for that 1 hour, and then it used to incur a huge amount of cost. Now we are saying, we are doing it routinely these days, the PhD defenses and all that. So examinations for PhD students, now we have decided, even after we reconvene, can we now, do everything online? Because now everybody is getting used to, and I think that part will happen. So the the travel will definitely come down. Not a good news for the airlines, but I think eventually we will travel less after this period ends than what you are doing. But even next time when you call me for an interview, I would say, why don't we do it on Zoom? I mean, I wouldn't, why do I want to take an hour to come to the studio and all that, like what I used to do all the time? But I think now that we are getting exposed to these sort of technologies and see how convenient these are, I think, we will very consciously start using them more and more, after this period ends.
Okay. Aprajita, some suggestions from your side in terms of how can we do it better?
First of all, I would like to request Mr. Senapaty. So you have mentioned several platforms. So my request, NCERT should publish all those platforms which you were mentioning. Please mention those platforms in the social media or through the newspaper and news channel, because being a parent and being the president of Delhi Parents Association, even I was not aware of so many platforms which you just shared with us. Secondly, yes, I agree. Like Dr. Rao has said, yes, we avoid community. Then means definitely we can save our time. And this lockdown period, they basically that this period gave us the lesson basically. If you ask me, that means at the home we can use the technology at its best, and we can use the means we can utilize our time, like Dr. Senapati said, that means parents should spend more time with their kids. Yes, we can do that. I'm working from home. I'm spending my quality time with my kids, and here I'm with you with the intellectual people. So yes, we should utilize the technology in a better way. I think कोविड ने बहुत सारे हमें नेगेटिव दिए हैं, तो कुछ पॉजिटिव भी आ गया है कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी का हम बेटर यूज कर पा रहे हैं अभी.
Let's bring in Dr. Senapaty here once again. Dr. Senapaty, as Aprajita is pointing out, and as all of us are aware, in these times, everybody, all the stakeholders, specifically the schools, the teachers, the parents, and the students, all of us are dependent upon the data which is available on your portals, be it textbooks, the PDF form, or otherwise on your NCERT websites or other government data repository as well, CBSC or the SWAM portal. Now, the question here is how to integrate this further into our school mode of learning so that we make use of this entire digital mode of learning in a very proper way, even after the lockdown is over and even after we have moved over from the COVID-19 crisis.
We have already shared all these platforms through social media, but what we can do, we can also share it through newspaper. That we can do now. That is not an issue that we can do. But my concern is that we should understand what is the interrelationship between technology and pedagogy. And there should be proper integration of content, technology, and pedagogy. Because what we want to transact the content. But to transact the content, what type of technology we are using and how it can be integrated with pedagogy. We should understand the cognitive level of the learner. We should not give much stress to the child so that it will be very difficult for the child to learn, and child should be happy. That is why we should understand what is this learning. It is not knowledge acquisition, it is knowledge construction. And it is based on the experience and how effectively we can provide better experience to our children so that they will enjoy learning. Learning will be joyful. That is my focus. And we should understand pedagogy along with the technology, because technology is a tool, technology is a means, technology is not the end. Ultimately, pedagogy should dominate, and our teachers should help the parents how to create a very conducive learning environment inside the home using available resources. That is most important thing we should do. If we can do that, definitely we can help our children to learn in a meaningful way, and our learning will be very joyful, very effective, and our children will be benefited. And when school will reopen and children can take the work what they have done during this period, show it to their teachers, teacher can assess, and accordingly the students will be happy, parents will be happy, teachers will be happy, and we can also make use of this time very effectively. That is my suggestion.
So there it is, as all our participants have pointed out, in terms of what opportunities and challenges the digital mode of learning or the online education has for all of us. And all the participants, that is the parents, the teachers, the schools, and the students as well, will have to put their mind together and ensure that these resources, the data resources which are available online, are utilized in a proper manner to supplement our learning, and also look for better ways to integrate the digital mode of learning with the school education mode further, even after the lockdown is over, even after the COVID-19 crisis gets over. We'll come back again with a different topic. You keep watching Rajya Sabha television. Stay safe and stay indoors.